Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to LCK Challenger. I'm Atlas. I'm joined by Wolf here as we bring in the summer season of 2023 LCK Challenger.
Yeah, it's been a really long time. I've missed all of you guys in the chat. I'm glad that you and I are starting things off with challengers this week.
I know.
We get to kind of ease into what is a crazy amount of changes with 13.10 and, you know, just see what the challengers players are up to, how they've improved during the offseason.
Yeah, see whether it's different from what we've been seeing over in the LPL. I assume it probably will be, especially because it's challengers. Starting off with Live Sandbox and D+ Kia as well. Both of these teams going through a couple of changes. D+ not so much, but Loopy's just gone.
Yeah, he's gone. We don't know where he is. We hope he gets picked up by a new team soon because he's a very good player, very talented. And Bible is going to be the main support for this team, at least for the foreseeable future. We also have Clear coming into Live Sandbox, so that's a very exciting announcement that came out like yesterday, I think it was. So I don't know how long he's actually practiced with this team. I'm guessing for a little bit at least. But we're very excited to see if he's playing today or if it's Birdall. We think it's going to be Clear, but you never know. As a lot of people are excited to see if Clear potentially does end up playing in the LCK.
Yep, and there is one bit of housekeeping that I do need to address here. That is the fact that I saw Astronautilus in the chat, and I just wanted to let everyone know that Astronautilus and I actually met in person at MSI, and it was super duper cool. So next time, you know, if any of you want to come to Korea for Worlds or something like that, say hi, and then you could get your own exclusive shout out on the Challenger broadcast. So it was great hanging out.
He was super hyped to tell me about it. He told me in the elevator. He was like, I didn't tell you, but I met him.
No, I'm embarrassed, Wolf. Don't say stuff like that. But anyway, yeah, we can jump into this first match. And you were talking about Clear, and it's really interesting, right? Because we've got Peach, who was alongside Clear on the DRX roster that looked extraordinarily powerful. Peach is now overseas, and we were like, is Clear going to get snapped up as well? Are they like as a collection going to be you know, represented overseas, but not going to be the case? Let's have a look at the schedule though. As we expect, you know, it is Monday to Thursday. We broadcast the Monday-Tuesday games, and then unfortunately we cannot be in two places at once. They need to you know, fix up the AI to make sure that we can cast on Wednesday and Thursday.
So it's all going to come to a head on the 22nd, so just after LCK Finals on the 20th. So we're going to be running back here as fast as we can, taking the KTX back from Daejeon to get here to do the finals for you guys on the 22nd. So it's from today till 22nd, same schedule that you guys had last season, same format, no changes, so playoffs and all that is going to be the same. And round 2, you know, is going to start in July, so that's when we'll have the second round robin. This is a double round robin system. Here's all the prize pool information. Nothing changed.
Yep, $80 million. This is actually British pounds. 80 million British pounds, Wolf. An absolutely extraordinary prize pool. That's actually not true. It's Korean won, so it's more like 80 grand. But, you know, if it was British pound, it would look like a much larger number, especially when I'm used to dealing in AUD, which is pretty much monopoly money.
The thing about prize pool here is, you know, obviously it's a split between 5 players, the board, the coaches, etc. But the regular season MVP and finals MVP, as well as round MVPs that have been added, that's a lot of money for these young players, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you win, you know, basically $3 grand as a kid, you know, 16-year-old. That's a lot of money. You know, that can actually change your life. That's life-changing money. So
think about how many Nintendo 64 games that would have been.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So here's our teams. We have one significant change in that it's OK Savings Bank Breon. They will not be playing today, unfortunately. They're going to leave that to challengers Casters Valdez and Chronicler to do the first OK Breon.
Wolf, why is it OK Man Breon? And why am I only seeing this for the first time?
I don't know why the man is in there, I'm going to be honest. I don't know if it's man, if it's man.
OK Man Breon?
Yeah.
Ah, man. Man. Okay, Breon. Is that the way we do it? We can adjust the order a little bit, but that is just extraordinary.
We have gotten confirmation from the org that we can call them OK Bro as well, so there's definitely going to be a lot of that. Otherwise, it's the same rosters that you guys have come to love and enjoy all throughout this year so far. And here's today's matches. I think we might have 3 one-sided ones on our hands, with DK being the favorite against Live Sandbox, KT against Kwangdong, and then DRX against Gen.G.
Yeah, but we'll have to see, right? Because it is always 9 games the dream on days like today. Best of 3s. They can just go either way. I'm expecting the middle series to be pretty one-sided though, and I think this first one should be. Maybe Quid can come out and get something done, but I don't know about Gen.G. They didn't look super great last season.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, Gen.G are pretty good at figuring out metas pretty quickly. I think that's one thing we could definitely say about them. So maybe they come really prepared today, take a map, take a game. That's my map meme coming back. But
it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. I think this matchup is interesting in general, but we do have a clear favorite, even with Clear now on the roster.
Yep, and we need to answer Gotti Swag's first chat here, saying, are the players insane? And it depends how you define it.
They
you
can
know?
be.
Solarian knows exactly what we're talking about here because, it is a league where you can see extraordinary play. In fact, it was the debut game of D+ Kia Challenger last season that was probably one of the cleanest of the whole season, even including LCK. It was absolutely insane. So they tend to come out with a bang, and we'll see whether they do so again, but they're going to be up against this team. Dahyuk Vincenzo, one of the greatest names here, alongside the actual greatest name in Plan B, with Goody and Diablo there as well. Diablo actually was pretty good last season.
Yeah, I think he's got a lot of potential. He's very, very young, right? 16 years old, and he was like 15, I think we started. I think he's since turned 16, but very young player. And Dangmu also still on the roster, still available for play, but as we saw last season, I don't know if that's actually going to happen. She's still playing in Academy, of course, but this roster is otherwise really unchanged.
Yep. So yeah, a lot of people asking where Dangmu is. She's not here today, but maybe she will next week or in the following days. We'll have to see. This is your D+ Kia roster though. A team that has been so close to winning and finally managed to do so. Thanatos up there towards that top side, Lucid in the jungle, and Lucid, absolutely amazing player. Poolbay, you never know what you're going to get with Poolbay, but he can be absolutely extraordinary. And then their bottom side of the map is a little bit more subdued. Rahel, not exactly the greatest AD carry we have here in Challenger, but Bible has really been gluing that team together.
Yeah, it really does feel like a Barrel Ghost situation from the Dom
a little bit
past. And Bible, I think, is a fantastic player.
Maybe it's like Nuclear Barrel, just to shout out the man on the mic for the Challenger broadcast.
Yeah. So here are the match records between these two teams, as well as their finishing regular season results. D+ getting 3rd place at 13-5, and mirrored is Liv Sandbox at 5-13. Both series actually went 3 games, surprisingly, round 1 and round 2, but both of them going the way of D+. I believe, wait, no, that says 2-1 in the round 2 there. I don't remember Liv Sandbox beating D+, but it may be the case.
Yeah. Now, honestly, there was that lull.
Yeah,
that
there was
time
a lull,
where we were like, D+, are they even that good? You know? And then they managed to tidy it up for the end of the season. So often they start out with a bang, and that's what we're expecting here today for this first match.
Alice the Alien reminding us there was that Saint series. That was the Guti game where it was like, oh, Guti finally won his first game of his year. Yeah, I remember that now. I was actually casting that. I do remember now.
The Guti game. Well, here we are into pick and ban for game number 1. Liv Sandbox are going to be on your blue side, D+ Kia on the red. Already Vi to be taken away here, and we'll see how things will change and evolve moving towards this one. Milio is busted. We expect Zeri to probably remain banned as well.
Yeah, there's some trends that we know to be true, especially on red side bans. Like Zeri and Milio are almost must bans. Annie's still very popular, but I think when you look at Liv Sandbox bans, it's more about Lucid than patch 13.10. So I think you take a look at that. Kazante as well still has he's the only champion at LPL to have 100% pick and ban with a 60% win rate. So he's one to look at. Red side Scion, also one to look at.
Yeah, the classic. Still yet to see Zeri on that ban list, so she might just be the first pick here for Liv Sandbox. We'll see what D+ Kia do decide to do, and she will be banned away. So absolutely zero surprise.
Yeah, no, really, not at all.
but Wolf, like Scion got nerfed though, as Nico in our very first game here in Korea for summer will be locked away. So I'm really glad that I'm now going to be extraordinarily confused about Nico now transforming into everything on the map. seen a lot of fun being had by players like Yagao over in the LPL, and we'll see whether Goody's going to have as much of a good time.
Yeah, Nico seeing middling success in the LPL, but we've seen some really cool plays where you clone yourself as a honey fruit, for example. And I was wondering if we're going to see the Lucian come through or the Aphelios, because both of those picks are very strong for very different reasons. And with the Jace coming through here, which could actually just be for the mid lane, they have a lot of AP jungle options here.
Yep.
Lucid here is going to get a pick where he has a lot of power early. This does mean it's going to be Aphelios versus Lucian, not Lucian versus Zeri, like it was in the old days. And maybe we'll see Damwon, or rather formerly Damwon, try to, wow, starting early with that one.
Yeah, you're really getting in there.
No. Maybe we'll see them get a tempo advantage here. It looks like that's what they're looking to do with this draft.
By which map will Wolf stop saying Damwon? That's the question.
I got to get back into casting, man. It's been a little while. I didn't cast MSI. I've just been chilling.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute. And, dude, I've been feeling it as well. Believe you me. I casted 2 series or something like that in MSI, so it doesn't even really feel
doesn't
that
count.
much. Yeah. As, Nami, unsurprisingly, going to be banned away as well. Vincenzo not allowed to play Kha'Zix, who has been really skyrocketing ever since his buff prior to MSI. So jungle is probably where a lot of people are going to be looking, especially Goody on the Nico. You always got to look into that jungle, see how many of these camps you can transform into.
Yeah. So we see the Annie ban coming through here, so they're expecting this is actually going to be Jace top. And we'll see a Wukong ban to follow here. And we still just have no idea what Lucid is going to play. I mean, I always think of Lucid as an Elise player. We're a little bit past that era now in terms of AP junglers, but it would be really fun if we played, if they played like Renekton, Nidalee here or something like that. And they do ban the Elise.
I like it. Because you already mentioned the fact that Poolbay could be playing the Jace in the mid lane, and so with the Elise, you can then even pick Renekton or something like that and have like something completely ridiculous.
I mean, they could play Renekton, Nidalee. Well, now they can't because they blocked in the Sejuani. They could have, of course. And Gragas does come in here with the Viego to be the jungle pick here. Viego, Nico, we have seen this duo in the LPL. A lot of burst damage, a lot of CC.
Yep, feels very similar to the old Ari Viego or Lissandra Viego, things like that. Nico does function kind of similarly with that Pop Blossom and stuff like that, being able to get all that AoE CC down. Okay, Bible, what is going to be the final pickup here? We're expecting it to be either for Thanatos or for Poolbay. And the Thanatos on could be a thing. I would prefer not.
Yeah, I like the Gnar here though. Like for the matchup, right?
Yeah, for the matchup.
Because you're in this D+ lineup, I think you're kind of trying to win early. You want to have top prio so you can get that first Rift Herald fight. Jace is going to be strong into Nico alone. Obviously with Viego, that things could be a little bit problematic, so Lucian's going to have to hover around mid. Bottom side, you should have some control if Rahel and Bible play it right, and it's just going to be, let's win this game in 22 minutes. Let's just crush it, stack Heralds, get early map control. Because Liv Sandbox have fantastic team fighting if they can get to it. And there's a decent front line here, of course, for the Aphelios with the Gragas. I think it should be tank Gragas this time around. A lot of AP damage in this composition otherwise. I feel like I look at D+, I'm like, yeah, this is just how they started spring season.
Yeah, 100%.
Just how they started spring season. It's going to be coming out with a bang, sub 25-minute game. That's what they're looking to do here.
Yeah, this is like, D+ Kia could be playing at any point last season. With this composition, they have showed absolutely nothing whatsoever. Liv Sandbox, however, are going towards a whole bunch of the stuff that has been updated, namely in the Aphelios and the Nico, the Stormrazor Aphelios that you have been getting quite frustrated about, Wolf.
Yeah, I'll go on a rant about that when we get in game. I'm not too happy with it. I mean, it's very good for Aphelios enjoyers. If you're an Aphelios main, it's a good time to be an Aphelios main.
Yeah, that is definitely true. DK, on the other hand, they are just playing what they know. And Rahel's Lucian wasn't too bad. He was often one of these players that we'd speak down on just a little bit here in the LCK Challenger, but now on the Lucian can have a lot of that mid-game power, and DK, they could honestly just win, like, very, very quickly.
Very quickly.
If things get out of control.
I think that's the expectation. I think a lot of pressure on Vincenzo in this game to actually hold mid together because they're going to have that Gnar pressure on the top side. Jace is going to be able to be very aggressive into the Nico matchup. So Vincenzo got a tough task at him, but if he can keep this team alive through the early game, maybe there's a chance for some 5v5 team fighting later on.
And also, perhaps, in this intro, there is a chance for some doo-doos and some doo-doos. But Maybe we'll just have to wait it out this first time around. Chat, you're gonna have to take it, get on the doo-doo-doos, and we'll see whether it's going to be happening once again. It's not.
Rip, rest in pepperonis. Rip in pepperonis.
Rip in doo-doo-doo-ronies. Well, this is a very sad time.
Yeah, it's a very sad time. I was actually thinking, like, wow, they changed a lot of the music for challengers, but they didn't change the opening to the game, but then they changed the timing of it, so it doesn't work anymore.
Yep, I'm a little bit sad. I'm not gonna lie to you. I am a little bit sad. Goody is just already Nicoing around.
A pretender.
Yeah, just having a great time.
A big phony.
Yep. Also, like, when you transform, it makes your health bar look like it's... I'm like, oh, is this Wild Rift? Like, what's happening? I get so confused.
That also trips me up, too.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's my old man brain having a
He's
rough
a
time.
minion!
Yep. There's actually just an extra melee minion in the first wave now for blue side, because blue side wasn't strong enough, is what we thought.
Yeah.
So that's what we went for. Yep, Goody, just going to have a decent time here at the beginning. And we just don't have any game sounds.
I was going to say, let us know, chat, if you guys don't have game sounds, too. Okay,
oh,
now it's back. Now it's back.
That producer's just like, hey,
producer's on
thought
top
I'd
of it,
test
man.
you. Yeah.
All right, well, this early game here, level 1 for this matchup, Felio's just trying to poke with his crescendums as much as he, or rather with his calibrum. Wow, I might cast, really. I thought we were doing this before LCK. Poke with his calibrum and then heal a little bit, and when Lucian hits level 2, it gets a little bit scarier.
Yeah, we do have a very cute question, as Goody does get a water. Lots of damage here, though, with the Q. Already Poolbay in a little bit of trouble. Just trying to farm up where he can. Goody's just, like, really on fire.
He really is. Like, Poolbay, I mean, it's not an easy level 1, but after that, things can get a lot better, but still, just playing very defensively here, and Comet getting a lot of value. Not the first strike variant we've seen. You pointed out to me that Faker's been playing a lot in solo queue.
Well, there is a question that has been asked, and this is a really important one. It does apply to both of us. It's, what is it? Boys' Yankees says, if you could Nico transform into your cat to become your cat's friend, would you?
Oh,
or is that a
100%
magical journey
easy.
you just can't go on?
No, I want to go on that journey. I also want to know what my cats, like, if I could speak to them, you know, what they're thinking. Like, I want to know what they think of things.
I was thinking about that last night, man. Vivian's brain, like, it just does weird things, dude. I don't understand that cat at all.
Somebody told me that, I read this recently, that there's like a new theory that cats just think that their owners are big cats. Like, that they just think we're big giant cats and that, like, we're the same species as them. I don't know if I believe that.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
But, like, I try to imagine sometimes now. I'm like, yo, what a strange cat I would be. Okay, here comes Lucid. Diablo doesn't see him. He's playing with vision very well.
Yeah, looks like plan A is stick around. See what plan B is going to be very soon. So we do have the back actually completed here. Rahel's still going to go in. It has to cleanse immediately on that polymorph is now Bible. No mana, not a lot of hope. May have to flash here as the Glitter Lance does come down. And they're not able to quite pick up the kill in response. So a little bit of a communication mishap, one could say, on that bottom side, perhaps.
Yeah, I think definitely. That's exactly what I'm thinking here. As the recall completes, Bible is not with Rahel initially, very low on mana, and it felt like an opportunity that they wanted to seize, but was canceled by Lucid. They're like, yeah, we're not going to do this, but Rahel still goes in. Pick up a little bit of first strike gold, I guess, but that's about it. Otherwise, losing a lot of control in this lane, so Diablo feeling very great about how the start to this matchup has gone. Same, of course, to be said of Goody, who will just go back to lane here.
Ooh, immediately takes a shock blast to the face, so there we go, Poolbay getting something back here, but he's down like over a camp there. Thanatos, he's a big old angry gnar, but he doesn't have his ultimate available just yet. So
I'm not that familiar with this matchup yet, since Nico mid is so new to my time in the LCK, but the Jace here I thought was going to have a good time. I think D+ thought so as well, but he's having a rough time. He also started Doran's shield, so Poolbay knows he needs to get some of that healing up here, but he has just been pushed in.
Yeah, plan B is actually just really trying to get in here to help out his jungler. Vincenzo gets that big old shield, but the blast cone will get Lucid to safety. Still has to limp out of there. Bristle in a little bit of trouble, and I agree with you. The Nico situation, it's difficult to kind of adjudicate, mainly because the last time I saw it, I think it was Deft and Keria playing Kalista Nico bot lane.
Yeah. It's been so long. We saw it a few times, like Life played it a few times for Gen.G in the bot lane as well, but it's just not really a thing we see in mid and pro play until obviously some changes came through. Was something that you'd see in solo queue all the time, of course, but Poolbay here just struggling to get the damage through, and with the Doran's shield, it's going to affect his damage output quite significantly. He might be dead.
There's Pop Blossom, just dives on forward, and Duty just, yep, that's a solo kill. That is, it's about, yep, that's it. He's dead. Poolbay is big time dead.
Yeah, it's a fiery start to this lane matchup. I mean, obviously he was losing lane pretty hard, but just walks at the Pop Blast range there. Goody doesn't even flash for this. So just disrespectful, I think, in a lot of ways here for Poolbay. He will die, instantly buys a Null Magic Mantle. He's hoping for a little bit of reprieve with some of that magic resist, but 2 stacks of Darksteel and the first mythic component picked up here for Guti. He's got a lot of control right now. He's got a massive lead, 15 CS advantage. Let's watch this again. As Poolbay hits the Shock Blast and then just walks too far forward here. Gets rooted. There's the ult. I mean, it's a pretty large radius on that ultimate.
I mean, it is, and you hit the snare, and then he's just in kill range, right? As now DK having to deal with this attention towards the bottom side, and Bible is real dead. Mega dead, big time dead.
You know, when we said we thought the series was going to be a very one-sided one, potentially, this was not exactly what I had in mind.
Yep, it's just always going to be one-sided in favor of Live Sandbox. They're too good. Yep. D+, you might be thinking, yes, they won the spring split, but it's not about that. Live Sandbox were robbed in a series that they weren't in that final. So there we go. That's my 2 cents.
So I'm guessing, like, my theory on what Poolbay was going to want to build here was the Ghost Blade, which is, you know, a mythic first, but after tier, of course. But now he's going for Merc Treads, and Rahel here just way up with Bible. Bible decides he's going to sacrifice himself here. This is not like a mistake. He's just trying to make sure Rahel can get out, but doesn't have flash, nothing he can do. But his build is going to be, like, he can't hurt Guti at all. Now he's a level down on top of the 20 CS. Poolbay's relevance in this game is very small, and that's a problem considering Rahel's not ahead either. And top side is the one place where you're feeling okay here as D+. Thantos doing his job, but it's a Gnar getting advantages against a Gragas, so
yeah,
everything is looking pretty bad. And you wanted to be fighting, if you're D+ around these early Rift Heralds, if you could get control of these lanes, but you don't have control, so Rift Herald's going over to Live Sandbox now as well. Get a Drake here for a consolation prize, I guess, but this is kind of the opposite way things were supposed to be going.
Absolutely. This is a big disaster, because, like, you couldn't be weaker at this stage of the game as this Jace. Like, Null Magic tier and a shield, like, oh my, you do nothing.
You're like doing minus damage, practically healing Nico at this point. Yeah, very peculiar here for Poolbay. I thought maybe he has a good plan, like they're going to gank early with this Sejuani, he's going to get ahead, he's going to rush lethality, and then he's going to be able to push the Nico out, all in her, but he's just kind of been sitting under turret, as Lucid's finally going to try to make an impact here.
Yeah, let's see whether Goody is going to die. Does manage to land the ulti, and that is going to be a lot of damage. Push back towards the turret. There is the Pop Blossom. Flash comes out. Phenomenal snare. But there is the flash forward from Poolbay, and he locks down the kill onto Goody. So gets his revenge in the end.
So finally we do see a little bit of action here from Lucid in the mid lane, and now he gets some damage done, gets a kill here, is going to push the Nico out of the lane, and Guti, of course, is going to lose a lot of control there, but is it enough? It's one first step here for D+. Now he's got his Merc Treads online, which will make that laning phase again easier. We're still in that, 10-minute mark here.
Yep. Poolbay also has a longsword, so an actual damage-applying item.
He does do attack damage now. This is from Guti's perspective. Knows where he is in the lane. This is a fantastic ult from Lucid, as he stays way too long. Like, at first his positioning to the left of the minions there would prevent something like this, but then he stays too long. Maybe I'm giving him too much credit. Poolbay has to flash for the auto. With the control ward in the bush there, he has vision. And that was well played by D+.
just going to be fine. And so Lucid trying to tidy up the mess that Poolbase made there in that mid lane. Still not really going to change the lane dynamic. Goody is still gigantically strong, building towards that first item. Not going towards the dash cannon, which we've seen quite a few of these Nikos head towards. A little bit more of that classic mage build by the looks of things with the Ludens.
Yeah, just a little bit more burst with the Ludens. As struggling to control this vision a little bit is, yeah, everybody loves to watch the minion with a mind of its own. Oh, clever.
Look at the spacing. You know how we talk about spacing? We're normally talking about 80 carry players? No. It's all about your minion spacing when you're conga lining up a lane. And that was gorgeous by Goody. Absolutely amazing stuff.
Gets hit by that shock blast. Good aim there from Poolbay in a return. Because I think the game state is still pretty good here for Live Sandbox. Like, actually very, very good, despite that one hiccup in the mid lane. Let's see how many plates Diablo can get. So we'll be able to pick the second one up. Solo plate gold as well, 175.
Diablo actually having a pretty appropriate name for this week. Good luck in your excursion through Sanctuary if you are going to be starting tomorrow, which is when I believe we'll be playing. Is now Goody getting dove on here by Poolbay, feeling himself. Just gets a little bit of a hammer move back onto the Nico, but Goody going to be okay.
Yeah, that's kind of how I expected this matchup to be going a little bit earlier, as Poolbay started to be a little bit more aggressive like that than for all-ins. If you don't get rooted, you should be able to win the trade. But yeah, I think the way it's looking right now is Diablo might be a hardcore character in this one. He's got his Stormrazor now. We could start talking about Stormrazor Aphelios, where Aphelios gets to have additional movement speed for free and feel very safe against threats, as well as be able to chase extremely well.
You can understand it though, right? You're like, oh, well, like, we'll just remove the slow and we'll add a speed up. It's basically the same thing, right, guys? Yeah. But then, like, you apply it to this situation and, like, pressing Q with red gun and then being able to zoom through everyone like a portable blender that's out of control. Like, it's just a little bit scary.
Yeah, it's not my favorite change that they've made, but it's very good, like I mentioned earlier, if you're an Aphelios player, because it allows you a lot more freedom. He is going to get the entirety of this turret, as Lucid comes over here and is trying to punish him for the last plate.
Oh, that is a Captain Jack right there, able to avoid the Winter's Wrath as well, so Lucid gonna have to get out of there. Gorgeously played. Diablo's really, like, he must have been practicing hard in this offseason.
He just really wants that plate, and I think he's still going to get it here, so ultimately it won't matter. Good ult here to push them back.
Yep, Midnight Vigil does come down as he just dashes to the side. All right, gets out of the way, and that is guaranteed money. You, like, flashing for a turret plate, that I respect.
Yeah, he's just going in. He doesn't care. And, like, the rest of D+ is like, well, Viego's nearby, for sure. I don't know actually if he was on vision or not, but they're like, if he's flashing like that to avoid this as well as get the plate, I don't think we're sticking around, especially without the turret. They back away. And, I mean, Stormrazor is going to be great for Lucian, too, in the early game, too, in terms of itemization, I guess.
I mean, it's just a good item, right?
It's good for the start for Jinx. Like, it's just strong for all 80 carries, but Aphelios in particular gets so much value out of it. As D+ here, after they back, will try to grab this second Drake, it looks like, or at least they're hovering towards it. If they don't start it now, they're not getting it.
No, maybe they don't want it. Maybe they're like, oh, Chemtech, ew. Let's hope that they take that one away so that we can stack good Drakes.
Problem is, it's probably going to be a good soul with the Ocean and the Chemtech here.
Well, Lucid going to find Vincenzo here, immediately flashes away. Diablo not able to offer too much back with no front line. So they will slink back into the fog of war. Goody here towards this bottom side, not going to be able to find too many avenues towards joining any potential fight. And DK will take down this Chemtech Drake. So, what will it be?
Yeah, we're going to find out. I'm feeling like it's going to be Hextech.
I'm feeling Cloud. It's got to welcome you back with a Cloud,
no,
right?
I think that's fair. As long as it's not Mountain. I feel like Mountain's very boring for this game. It's not very fun.
Lidopo in chat is like also a big Cloud enjoyer. Oh, Mountain! What is this?
Boring.
Yeah, that's not it. That
is
not
not great for D+ here if Live Sandbox starts stacking these up as well, considering the Jace and the Lucian situation here. Actually feels amazing for Live Sandbox with Everfrost Gragas to help defend this Aphelios here if they do start stacking this up.
Yeah, actually, like a pretty aggressive build coming out from Daiho. You mentioned wanting the Tank Gragas. This is a little bit more of that damage focus, as Goody is not going to be able to find too much CC on full bay, but clears out the wave just fine.
Yeah, with Nico playing this Ludens and trying to look for a bit more burst damage, I guess maybe we'll see Gale Force. Well, not looking likely with the Zeal coming out here. I was going to say maybe Gale Force Aphelios, you're trying to burst those targets down with this composition, but at this point, you know, just looking for a little bit more damage. They had a lead. Can respect it.
Yep. Well, where is Ice Drake? This is a question that has been plaguing me for quite some time. I'm really glad Embryage really did ask the real questions here.
Always kind of been wondering when he's going to show up.
Whoa, that's a big old flash forward, and this is why you don't flash cleanse to get a plate, because you just die. They do manage to still get the charge, but Vincenzo going to get permanently frosted, does have to ult to get himself out of the way. Meanwhile, there is a cask being thrown at a prehistoric Yordle. He's going to be all right.
They're just communicating well that Diablo has no flash, just cleanses down, and
I like how Luck Dude's immediately like, nah, plate was still worth. Perfect.
I mean, let's bring up the gold counter. How much gold? How much gold does he have total? Let's see that total gold. Yeah, I'd like to see it because he did pick up, of course, all the plates on the bottom side of the map, so he's sitting on a ton of money.
And also, Diablo was patched, so technically, Diablo 4.1 still works.
All right, let's see what Lucid. Let's see this angle again here. Yeah, this actually flashes for it straight on top of Diablo. That's his second really nice ult here in the mid lane. Secure a kill. Rahel is actually going to pick it up with the culling coming out, so some much needed money going into Lucian's pocket.
Bible also playing it very, very nicely, getting the knockup with the tidal wave, guaranteed bubble, really expertly played on the Nami. So nicely done just in general, does have the Imperial mandate, doesn't even need to worry about that taking up a mythic slot anymore. You just get to build it. Feels good, man. I hope he builds that fun item that slows stuff when it's shields, not heals, right? So you have to shield. Ah, sad. I love that item. It's so fun. Just getting a free thing that shoots someone whenever you press a shield feels good. Hi, Chronicler. Welcome to the chat.
What if that was just a passive on a support called Milio that exists in the game?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's top turret going down. So D+, I mean, turning this back around pretty well here. And the 2 Drakes that they have in lead here is going to be quite significant. We start stacking those up. If they can defend this turret, it would be amazing. I don't think they can, but I mean, Jason's just going to take that top turret and trade as they delay this.
Another one's going to connect. Lucid is actually just threading the needle on these, but he may just be dead. Pop Blossom comes down, very dead Sejuani. They save the turret. Don't know whether that's necessarily worth, but they do manage to take an inner. So yeah, take it all back, 100%.
I didn't think they were actually going to be able to defend the turret, but they actually were able to with obviously the sacrifice of Lucid here. But getting an inner here for mid that you were probably going to lose anyways. As long as Lucid didn't die, it's like 100% worth. I think it's actually still worth though. I think it's
out of her inner, you still take it.
And I mean, there's enough time for him to respawn here to set up for this next Drake fight. And we'll see if Rahel actually hits that 2-item spike before this. Watch this one more time. The tidal wave here to try to clear the minions. And Lucid, I think, on a bit of a different page here, looking for Diablo.
Gorgeous cask as well.
Yeah. Getting punished there. They do clear the minions, so that'll save the turret.
But 1 kill and an outer turret for an inner is like kind of even, to be honest. So, and with the fact that Thanatos was towards that bottom side, just farming for free the whole time, just meant that I think that D+ kind of got more out of the map in that moment. And as you can see in the gold, I think they are now 100 further ahead than they were prior. So
yeah,
means basically nothing.
I mean, I think it's significant to get that inner just because what it's going to mean to open up the map in terms of the Jace being a threat inside, especially with the teleport coming back up. But Rahel,
able to avoid Goody's snare there. Lucid now coming on over. 10 seconds until this Drake. Luke Sandbox wanting to get 4 mountains. 4 mountains would be defensive as Goody's moving forward. There are a lot of Lulus. There's just squids. There are squids all over this bottom river.
Thanatos has his Narbar exactly where he wants it too. He's on a flank here, and this is very frustrating for Liv Sandbox to play out now because he could just engage exactly the way he wants to. Diablo no Gale Force.
Yeah, Pulbe also just landing poke onto Diablo as well, over and over. Doesn't have Severin, does have a decent shield. And there is a flash forward from Dahyuk. I don't know about that one, as Lucid very happy to just hang out here. Not too worried about snares, things like that. Now there is no cast, no flash. Dahyuk completely on a different planet to his team.
There's no engage now here for Liv Sandbox, really, outside of the Nico, this flashless. So, and very fragile as well into this composition. So D+ can now play this very slowly. Okay, hold up though.
Flash stun to come forward there. Vincenzo Heartbreaker does have to break his stopwatch though as he eats the entire culling. Still, Pulbe is able to lock down the kill. Pop Blossom flying forward. Goody locking everyone down, but he just explodes. Oh no, almost did enough damage there, but it's not going to be enough. And there goes the Gragas. Triple kill for Pulbe. He's now 4.1 as well. No worries whatsoever. And D+ Kia, they just needed some time to wake up.
Yeah, I think Liv Sandbox here was some great individual mechanical plays, but they just weren't on the same page. Huge disconnects because the engage there from Dahyuk is a good idea, but it's just a cleanse he gets for it, right? The rest of the team is there to follow up. Maybe you get that kill. Then you go into a great engage there from Vincenzo, basically at max range, but he's not able to secure the kill. And then Guti barely survives, sets up Pop Blossom, but the rest of the team is already retreating. So it's like a three-part exchange here where all of these things go wrong. This is Vincenzo going in here for the stun. Rahel just dashes away though, and then Flash. He doesn't get the walk growth quickly enough, which is really problematic. Also wastes the stopwatch with it there, so doesn't really get value out of it. Guti sneaks in, but still can't secure the kill. So it's just, this is all, of course, after Dahyuk blows his engage right before, and that's going to be a Baron and Soul Point you have to imagine here for D+.
Yeah, Lucid's going to come down and spots them trying to sneak away this dragon. Thanatos standing on a ward, and Liv Sandbox just going to have to give this one up, I believe. Given the fact that Goody isn't here, he's a large amount of their damage. And so are just going to give up on that plan. Yeah, we're going to need plan C or D at this point in time.
I think so. Diablo did go Gale Force, by the way. I brain farted on that one earlier. That is built out of Zeal, of course, now. And he does have that extra mobility. We'll see if he can survive, though, because the burst damage is starting to come through here now, too, with this Jace. Who's even got Last Whisper coming through now. And winning team fights here as Liv Sandbox now is kind of based on Nico sneaking into a flank angle or a good cast engage that's followed up on. It's looking like at this point D+ have so much more control of the map and this threat of the Mountain Soul. The Sandbox don't get to choose, like, oh, we'll avoid this next fight. We don't really have that option anymore, so in 5 minutes time, things are going to get a little bit dicey. So it's not the quick win that we were expecting with this composition for D+, but they are well and truly online now.
And it's a bit sad, right? Because you look at this gold graph, and it says that Lucid is the only one without a gold advantage over his opposite number. And I think that Lucid is 100% MVP of this game.
Oh, yeah.
He single-handedly saved mid lane, was able to land those key ultimates onto Diablo. Diablo, great cleanse on the first one, couldn't get it on the second. And I think that really started these dominoes tumbling. Because now he's off towards the side. Dahyuk going to get knocked up. Great tidal wave. Pop Blossom not doing the most massive amount of work here. As Plan B a little bit late to the battle. Goody trying to find an opportunity, but no snare to connect. And Rahel, in the meantime, is by himself in this mid lane, clearing things, whatever he wants, taking money, taking names.
You could see the kind of disconnect between what the affiliates wants to do in this draft versus with Burst, Nico, and with the Everfrost Gragas. Like, it doesn't quite work out. You're not really front to backing. And once you engage, you're like, well, he was like, all right, I'm coming in. Oh, wait, now we're a little bit fragile here. We don't have engage anymore, and I don't have that much of a front line here. This Gragas isn't very tanky. And so, not really a huge fan of this build here for Dahyuk. He is going to build his Zonias next, which will make him a little bit more tanky, but you can just see that when they mess up the engage where they're not all on the same page, like, there is no next step. It's like, oh, okay, we walk away and lose our turrets now.
And also, like, I can kind of understand, right, why he went for the Everfrost, because he saw the state of the game. In the early game, he's like, oh, we're going to stomp him. I'm just going to build more damage. It's going to be totally fine. And then now he kind of wishes that he had a whole bunch of tank items and was feeling a lot better. Like, Jack shows would feel brilliant. Considering the fact that now they're fighting from the deficit. And it's about 6,000 gold with that soul point now available. The Baron has worn off, but 2.5 minutes on the return of the Purple Worm. And, you know, you've got transformation coming through from Pulbe because he was able to build the tier early, even if it was his only item that he had for a very large amount of time. He still has it, and now building towards item number 3 very, very quickly. New and improved Mythic Ghostblade well and truly online. And yeah, it is just a D+ gear that are looking like they're sitting pretty with just better understanding of how the map works from mid-game onward.
It's just better synergy in team fights too overall, and I completely agree that Lucid has been the savior in this game. Like, he did get caught by a really cool cast from Daihyuk while he was trying to help save that turret, but that's really the only bad thing we could say about what he's done so far this game.
Chronicler doing God's work in the chat, making sure that no one knows that Lucid is a good player. Yeah, no, Lucid's just it's a lucky game for Lucid here today.
Yeah, I heard it. So I heard
100%.
that not only is he just a lucky player and he's not very good, but I also heard his buyout fee is insane.
Yeah,
just don't
his
even ask.
buyout fee is like
Just
44
don't even
billion British pounds. Yeah, it's actually nuts, really insane. So yeah, keep your hands up.
I also think I heard he has like a girlfriend he's really attached to. He doesn't like traveling. His English is terrible.
Only eats his mom's dinner as well. Actually comes to the team house. She's their chef as well. So you can't have any of the other players because they all also rely on her extraordinary cooking. So yeah, I apologize for that one. So not going to be able to take Lucid.
Doesn't work well with others except the other players on his team.
Yep.
This team in particular.
Yeah, and the coaching staff. Yeah, and does interviews very nicely as well. He's really funny. But he doesn't work well with anybody else that we didn't just list.
I heard he's toxic.
All right. Anyway, hopefully we've saved his career in Korea.
I heard he hates China, America, and Europe.
Yeah.
But also Latin America.
Yeah. He can't fly. He's allergic to airplanes. He comes up in hives and explodes if he goes onto a plane. So I'm sorry, but it's like by boat. It's the only way you'll get him out of there, and there's no solo queue on a boat, right? Vincenzo could be in trouble.
Vincenzo taking a ton of damage here. I mean, the burst is not like the style of comp here for D+ unless everybody's all together, but you can see that Lucian does a lot of damage in these stages. Thanatos is just in AFK in the side lane mode with his hull breaker, and the game hasn't been about him at all. Like,
nope.
He didn't lose lane because he had a favorable matchup.
And he's just Thanatos now, right?
Yeah,
he's just having a good time.
He's just chilling. It's not about him at all.
This is the thing that bothers me about it though, Wolf, is we brought it up already. Like, this composition from D+ Kia could be any game of any patch of 2023.
Yeah.
They have not shown anything.
Some patches of 2022 as well.
Yeah, seriously.
It's very basic. It's very
D+.
It's very D+. And Liv Sandbox, you're going to try to make one last stand here on this Baron.
That's a bit of a face check there as Goody throws in a cloned version of himself. Actually, a cloned version of Vincenzo that is himself.
Like, Daihyuk is coming up here, but I mean, this is going to be an inhibitor. Best case scenario, I'd say. He's got TP too, Thanatos does, so you gotta really make a tough call here. I mean, he could start like ending the game at some
Trinity
point.
Force.
Yeah.
And Hullbreaker, like this guy's massive. These turrets do not last. Look at this guy. He just comes up, takes a swig of his brandy, and he's like, what happened to my house?
Okay, Narbar's gone. What are you gonna do? What's your opportunity? What are you gonna do? No, they don't have enough control of this Baron Pit to do anything here. And Thanatos is actually, like, Daihyuk alone is not enough to deal with this guy. If they push mid in, he could just go take a second inhibitor. Pulbait just gonna casually get Mountain Soul as Lucid just watches Liv Sandbox struggle here. As their decision making has been better, you know, I'd say, than what we're seeing in this game in the past. But now we're gonna make the call.
That's a bit of desperation there, but you can see D+ Kia not with all of the information. Pulbait is going to be able to take the Drake. That is Mountain Soul now available. Rahel dashing forward. Pop Blossom is going to be avoided there as the culling comes down. Zonya's going to be utilized there from Goody to try and keep him alive, but it ain't going to work whatsoever. That is a Moonlight Vigil to the moon, or to Narnia, where somewhere that didn't do any damage. And that is a very dead Diablo. Dives forward, tries to get something done. In the meantime, it's a 1v1 in the base. And this game, ladies and gentlemen, is over.
It's done. I appreciate Liv Sandbox finally pulling the trigger, knowing two players are missing.
Look at Thanatos' lack of communication, by the way, not joining up with his team, so definitely not worth a poach either. Chronicler's onto something there too.
Yeah, definitely not playing with his team. He clearly had teleport available, but decided not to go.
Yeah, you guys remember what happened with Summit, you know, like he's got great mechanics, but, you know, it's about team play, and this team played and they won, and they just work well as a team together, right? So congratulations to D+ Kia. They will take game one.
I really still have to. I'm gonna do my Lucid vote right now.
Yeah. Can you just put?
I'll put times two. Yeah. I really feel like the other thing that we saw was really bad usage of the Gnar bar. He was using his Mega Gnar to clear minions.
Yeah. Honestly, it just wasn't really it. And also, we know that Lucid is like just a Sejuani one-trick, only plays Sejuani, and Thanatos only plays none, so not worth picking up. Obviously, Pool Bay isn't very good because he died 1v1 to the Nico, and so ignore these damage numbers. Jesus.
I mean, he did throw Gnar boomerangs at a Gragas
He did do that a lot.
He did do that a lot. And Jace finally came online. I think that there might be some voters actually for Pool Bay. It's not me and it's not you, but I think the Korean side of things might say that he did consistently do his damage later on that mattered.
Definitely voting for Tilt-Proof.
Yeah.
100% as far as the honor system is concerned. Unfortunately, that is not how we vote for player of the game. However, I do think that like keeping himself mentally in that one would have been difficult after that early game.
Yeah, chat pointed out that Nami did out-damage Viego. Bible did about 1,000 more damage than Vincenzo did in this one, but, you know, I mean...
Even Sejuani out-damaging Viego is kind of big. Vincenzo really not able to find too much at all.
I think they just couldn't get their engages together. I think this comp works if Gragas' tank, like, it works a little bit better, or if their engages are all on the same page and they play a little more pick-based, and the fellows can clean up after you break through the front line, or you burst down the Jace or the Lucian. But Lucian will get it.
Yep.
Not robbed.
No surprises coming from us on this desk as both of our votes went for him. Honestly, saved it. It just felt like he restabilized what was a pretty rough early game, and then D+ Gear just did what they do best. The man was absolutely amazing. Remember, allergic to airplanes. But really playing well here in the first day. And that's exactly what happened last time this team debuted in the spring season. It was just the Lucid show.
Yeah, in a very
hopefully
different way here. Like, I think he played more of a supporting role in this game, whereas he's very famous for aggressive early games and getting massive advantages. But dude's solid on Sejuani. Like, what year is it? You know, what patch is it? Doesn't matter. He's just gonna pop off.
And it was mainly about the items, and so now we've just got all of the same old champions just wielding different items, and some of them are mythic now and others are not, and it's just, you know, it's all a bit confusing, but it does work out in the end. Good to see that Lucian Nami's back though, because I was starting to miss them. Lucian was just banned every single game. And so we didn't get to see him during MSI. That was really, really sad. So I'm really glad that we're seeing more Lucian for an added bit of variety here. Hopefully Zeri gets through the ban phase in game number 2.
Yeah, after the laning phase, I thought Rahel had a pretty decent game. We'll see how he does in game 2.
Exactly right, but it is now time for a short break, ladies and gentlemen. When we get back, possibly a 2-0 for D+ Gear, unless Liv Sandbox can bring it back to the Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to LCK Challenger Summer 2023. I'm Altus, this is Ulp, and we are ready for game number 2 between both Liv Sandbox and D+ Gear.
Can I just say we changed our background a little bit? It's very nice.
Yeah.
I don't know where the lights go to. Like, where do they end up?
I think
really sure.
I think they go to Faker because it goes up, right?
Yeah, true.
So we're actually just, during the first 2 days of every week, we just charge Faker here on the Challenger
That's
set.
what we do, yeah. We just send him all
We're
the
empowering
energy.
him.
And we actually do more than the Korean side because they don't actually have the charger behind us.
No, they don't.
And when they do the interviews, we stay on camera so we can make sure we send all the energy to Faker, so he's going to be okay for his upcoming match this week.
Charging it as much as possible, and he may need a little bit of help given the MSI results that we'd prefer not to talk about ever again.
Yeah, we'll spend some time talking about that, I think, at the LCK, maybe a little Pog State action.
Yep. Speaking of things to talk about, Wolf, In the Brain, welcome back, by the way, In the Brain.
Oh, welcome.
Hello, casters, how y'all doing? Quick question. What are you two's favorite breakfast foods?
Ooh, that's a really tough one.
I know mine. It's for me, it's very easy.
So for me, like when I was growing up, I really liked eggs, grits, bacon. You know,
the classic.
Basic. You know, if you guys don't know what grits are, Google it. You'll probably be like, "That's nasty," but they're actually really good. In Korea, I just like really like eating myeokguk. It's like a small food. If I'm gonna eat like a little breakfast, that's like my favorite.
I'm a Wheat Bix boy. I just eat Wheat Bix. Just Wheat Bix with honey. That's all I need.
That's solid.
And probably too much honey is like I always get a look from my fiance every time I make Wheat Bix. She's like, "Do you really need that much honey?" I'm like, "Yes, yes, I do."
That's are you the kind of guy who puts like a ton of syrup on your pancakes as well?
Nope.
Oh, okay, me neither.
No, it's just Wheat Bix. Just Wheat Bix. I like to overdo it.
Whenever I go to Waffle House in the States, I don't know. You've never been to Waffle House, right? It's like,
no, I haven't.
It's a pretty good place, but when I go with my friends, so many of them like put so much syrup the waffle is like floating. I'm like, I'm glad that you're eating some waffle with your syrup. Yeah, it's like it's kind of gross. We did get confirmation that Live Sandbox picked blue side, which I was joking with you right before, and I'm like, oh, I hope they don't pick red side. That was definitely not the issue.
Oh, there's a Wheat Bix question, which is important. How many Wheat Bix is the correct number? There isn't one. That's a trick question. The correct number is the amount that you can correctly get into a bowl whilst also managing to sufficiently submerge them in milk.
Okay, so is Wheat Bix like a colloquial term for like Wheaties?
No, Weetabix. Weetabix, I think, is that's what they are in Britain. They're actually it's like a whole bunch of Wheaties, but in like a brick.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about now. Yeah.
I
don't know. For some reason, I just assumed it was like Wheaties, and then I was like, oh, he just doesn't put milk in his cereal. He puts honey out. That sounds way better than putting milk.
No, I think if you didn't put any milk, you'd actually glue your mouth together.
I'm actually. I'll say this really quick before we start the draft, but like, I don't really enjoy cereal because the concept of eating something cereal-like with just dumping milk on it is just kind of gross to me. I find it very strange.
And yes, we do have a desk. I will get to the draft, but first we need to prove that there's a desk. Let's see whether this works. I'm going to knock on the desk and put the mic near where I'm knocking on the desk.
I can put the mic next to it, or you can do it. There you go.
Could you hear me knocking on the desk? Because that is confirmation that there's a desk.
Playing knock sound effect 2.wave on his phone
no!
right now.
I put that together! Oh, God. Okay, well, way to just completely ruin the whole illusion that there's a real desk. All right, well, Nico is going to be banned this time around. Poolbay not really feeling getting solo killed again. Once more, we have Vi Maokai banned away here on Live Sandbox Society. It was the Scion to follow things up. And we'll see who escapes the ban list.
Maybe
because Emilio or Zeri are the two.
Yeah, I think Zeri. Okay, so they don't want to pick the Emilio. They'll ban it themselves. So it just becomes an easy Zeri ban now, I think.
You would hope so, unless they want to ban Scion. But I assume they will. Okay. Just get rid of the Zeri. There it is. Very nicely done. So, Daihyuk can pick up the Scion if he would like to, but instead, they'll be looking for the Lucian. So Diablo going to be jumping back on one of his old favorites from last season.
Yeah, the red side Scion with Lucian, not the greatest, but it can be a problem. So picking away the Lucian here, I guess, is solid. But the Lucian wasn't really the problem for the Sandbox the last game. They played the laning phase really well. They had actually control and advantages there. I guess we're just going to kind of flip the table a little bit on this one. It's just going to be a Felio solution the other way around.
Yeah, I like saying flip the table about it because we're moving into that bottom lane situation where things aren't very interesting. Lucid, speaking of not very interesting, considering the Sejuani, but we'll lock away the Annie instead. In theory, is going to be a flex pick, but we're expecting that one to go into the hands of Poolbay. Everyone's still playing so much Annie mid. And Lucian, Nami, and Gragas to be locked away here. Theoretically a flex pick, but likely going to Diehuck because he likes playing the champion a lot. Pretty comfy blind pick there also. And there's the Lulu.
Yep, coming through. I think that we'll see the Wukong ban again, especially because of this synergy that exists there. Although they don't necessarily have to play it, it's just very powerful.
Denunciated, by the way, this is actually a Lulu, Zeri, Lucian, Nami patch. Unfortunately, the Zeri was too strong and therefore gets banned every single game.
Yeah, but don't worry. Like eventually, something else will be introduced that's more OP, and then we'll go back to it.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
give it a patch or two.
I just want, like, why don't we just buff all of Samira's numbers like 3 times? Like, maybe that's what we should do because she's fun, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Kalista. Get the Kalista in there.
I'm down with that. Like, maybe instead of just giving Vayne a small AP ratio, we should instead make her numbers completely broken and give her 700
Give
range.
her more attack range, yeah. Just don't touch Varus, though. I've had enough of that.
Yeah, I'm done with that. I'm done with that.
Just don't touch that one.
Yeah. I just want not these champions would be great.
Maybe Kog'Maw will eventually get figured out, and we'll see more Kog'Maw. He's
That's
pretty
true.
strong right now.
I mean, if you've been watching the D+Key YouTube channel, you've seen that Deft's been putting up some pretty sweet numbers on the Kog'Maw.
The Jax angle for Thanatos? He's just gonna be like, I just want to play Jax into Gragas and outplay him. It's not an easy matchup. It's been figured out for the Gragas a lot, but I'd love to see it. It'd be fun.
Yeah, I actually really like Gragas into Jax, but we've got the Kazakhs being thrown through. It was who was it? It was Bin. Was it Bin that was just like spacing Jax extraordinarily well on Gragas? And I was like, from that point on, I'm like, yeah.
Body slam also, if you time it well.
Yeah.
So good against Counter Strike. What we've seen in the matchup a lot is, all right, I guess Elise is a thing in Korea.
Definitely in Challenger. It may not even be a thing at all in the LCK, but here in Challenger, we like ganking early. So here's an opportunity to do so. Live Sandbox, keeping their lanes up in the air, to the skies, if you will.
Yeah, true. I think
repelled.
Elise is pretty good into Kazakhs too. Like she can offer you a lot, and if you play a 2v2 out, if she hits the cocoon, then it can be a guaranteed kill in the Kazakhs. As we're just gonna see Ornn, I guess.
Yeah.
So a very boring front-to-back Aphelios comp versus Live Sandbox's slightly different take on what D+ were trying to do last time with Lucian.
Yeah, it's just with an Elise instead of the tanky Sejuani, of course, Sejuani being banned away. And that is just Thanatos on, locked in towards the top side like you were talking about. So, a heck of a lot of short-range CC, control of space with the Ram, and just in general, a whole bunch of stuff to make sure Lucid can pop off. And Lulu and Kazakhs together, a very, very strong combination. Although I'm very much hoping that Lulu just holds on to that wild growth and just tries to use it on Tibbers as much as possible. That's the best champion in this game.
My favorite thing about Live Sandbox's comp is it's basically a D+ comp also from last season in spring, minus the Gragas. Just like, yeah, try to play Lucian Elise, try to go down on blue side and steal away the blue buff. Very annoying, and there's like that obnoxious timing where you come down there and level 3, try to get a kill on the enemy late game AD carry. It's a Zeri, if it's an Aphelios, whatever. So we'll see how they execute it. Whereas D+ feels like I'm watching the MSI, pretty much. You know, pretty straight up, pretty straightforward here. We're not really changing the meta over here in Korea. We're changing the bans a little bit, but the meta's pretty much the same.
And item builds will be somewhat adjusted as well. We'll see what Diablo's take on the Lucian build is going to be. I saw a lot of people talking about the fact that it wasn't necessarily optimal to go for the Stormrazor, but Stormrazor is just a very strong item. And just a lot of these players, they have very different ideas as to what's good, and also the understanding of when you're going to hit timings is very important for when you're playing in this competitive setting. So it's not necessarily about building towards the maximum amount of 6-item damage or 4-item damage. It's about making sure that you have the right amount of damage at the right amount of time.
So we may have a little bit of a slight delay getting into the game just based on the fact that we're not in the game.
We can just sit at this desk, though, and have a real desk and just be at the desk and stuff.
Is it time to decide, as the screen is charging Faker, is it time to decide whether the do-do-do-do is really and truly dead?
We'll have to find out. Oh, it's back!
Hell yeah, it's back.
We back.
Oh man, I was really worried. I was very concerned.
It's the dream. I just like how a producer was just keeping us on our toes, and then he's like, nah, don't you worry. Speaking of not worrying, Plan B, not going to worry too much, gets underneath his turret, and Rahel's not going to be able to punish him too much. So, ward down in that brush, and Live Sandbox is going to be backing away just a little bit.
I legit was... I was looking at my phone. I was about to say, all right, guys, like one time miss, it could be an anomaly, but two in a row miss, I was going to be like, time of death, 255. No more. But it's back. It's back. It's okay.
We've finally done it.
Maybe it's a Game 2 exclusive now. I don't know, but we're going to slowly discover with you guys.
Exactly. This is all a learning experience here on day number 1, and thankfully we have 3 best of 3s in order to do so. Yep, Bible set up in this brush. Throwing glitter lances, just having a great time. This is exactly the same matchup as you're used to seeing, just on different sides of the map.
Yeah, when you see that barrier,
side change.
You see that barrier against Solution, and you're like, here we go again.
Mm-hmm. It's like the meme.
Yeah. Oh, snap. Here we go again.
One more time. I was watching, it was, because that meme, is that meme from San Andreas?
I think so.
I don't remember which.
I'm not a big GTA person.
Yeah,
so
I don't remember which GTA it was.
Chat knows for sure.
I also didn't, but I watched the speedrun for that game, and it was hilarious. That game's really broken. As Plan B, just getting lanced once again.
I wouldn't know any other broken games where things are broken, where things are very broken, and I'm not watching it right now or anything like that.
Yeah, where's the League of Legends tutorial speedrun or something like that? Yeah. Level 30 speedrun?
Well, this is the level 3 gank speedrun. Vincenzo's time is pretty average. It's coming down for it. Rahel is going to need to back away, and this is the level 3 at least time where you come over there, you mess with the blue buff.
Yeah.
But they don't have enough control to actually do that.
Nope. And Lucid going to be down here, gets a ward into the brush just to defend from any shenanigans. And, you know, there's some fear. Some fear was now instilled into the bottom lane as Diablo gets polymorphed, but not before getting a whole bunch of damage onto the Lulu. And, yeah, maybe D+G are going to be able to, going to have to step back a little. But it looks like that is not their plan. They're just going to play still as aggressively as they would like. And now it's Lucid's turn to make a little bit of an entrance towards that bottom side. That full clear completed already.
And Rahel, he has hit quite a few Calibrum Qs. You know, sometimes we just talk about Calibrum, oh, you have the range, you can try to poke with it, but he's actually hitting the Qs and doing some decent damage here. I think that's the main reason why they have so much control of this lane right now. And Diablo is running low on mana, so very much a sitting pretty situation here for D+ without having to do an aggressive trade with a barrier or anything like that. Just constantly poking him out, constantly pushing him back, and even crash this wave through. So at least just not a threat. In fact, they're starting to damage this turret, and Lucid is coming down. Like, if they pick up a plate here at like 4.5 minutes, that's pretty insane.
Yeah, they've actually cleared out all of the vision down here as well. You can see that Lucid, he just pops the Scryers, sees that there's no Elise, and will then immediately go back, grab that first buy, sitting on 29 CS. So a very happy Kha'Zix, as now Poolbay could be in a little bit of trouble. In goes Goody, gets stunned up, as now we'll see whether Poolbay actually has to flash, and it looks like the answer is going to be absolutely not. And he just walks it out. Ooh, and it's Heartseeker Annie there as well. Apparently, best animations, according to our good mate Last Shadow.
I like to hear that.
He is the Annie expert.
So they got a plate at 4.5 minutes as the observers are like slow-mo showing us like, wow, this is just not going very well for Diablo at all. He's going to be able to stay even in CS here, but Felios early back here grabs Berserker Greaves and a control ward. He's just like, I wasn't even close to Berserker Greaves by a control ward as well.
Yeah, this is really nice.
It's looking very nice here as Poolbay is once again going to escape another gank attempt.
Yep, Moltenly shields himself to safety. No worries there at all.
Send that Airy back where he came from.
And Goody pushes an entire wave towards the Annie. So nothing to worry about. No no big action this stage of the game. That mini wave will be tidied up there by Poolbay, and so he will be back to even.
Someone in the chat asked us what we build on Kha'Zix. I think Ghostblade is really strong right now.
Yeah.
I don't
just
play
feel
Kha'Zix, but
Yomo's as much as possible is generally my theory. Has been my theory for a very long time, since about Season 2. And now I can do it, and it feels better. And so that's great. Running fast is good, guys.
yeah. Umbral Glaive was my go-to when I was playing Kha'Zix, when that was the way to go. We'll see what he builds this time around. Still some viable options here. Don't think you really need Umbral in this game, but Lucid gonna eat a little bit of damage here. But they have total control of the bot 2v2. Pulbay has 6, so Vincenzo really needs to reconsider sticking around.
Ooh, goody, going aggressive into the Annie. Just takes a Q to the face. Otherwise, everything's gonna be fine. Man, yeah, this bottom lane certainly going well, but Cocoon is going to connect, and here on this bottom side, Bible taking a fair bit of damage from Diablo.
That's
And
actually,
as it turns out, no gank actually going to happen in the mid lane.
yeah, not actually going to commit. So we're just kind of going. This game is a little bit less interesting than the last one in terms of early game action. We're just kind of chilling. I'm going to ask them to not ban Nico next time, as this is just kind of stock standard. Aphelios is scaling, and Lou Sandbox should be concerned about it. The Ornn is going to be an issue later on, too. And it's been pretty bulletproof this early game thus far, as Kha'Zix has just been hard farming. He's going to pick up the Scuttle. Dio can't do anything about this. He's even like considering maybe I could take this blue buff. So at least it is bottom side.
Lucid is just under full control. As Tibbers comes down in this mid lane, Goody taking another Q to the face as well, as Tibbers is just going to be wandering around looking beautiful in that tuxedo. Very, very nice. As plan B down to 50%. Vincenzo moving in though, and that is going to cause D+ here to back away. In this bottom lane, good adjustments. I think that the coaching staff probably had a bit of a chat and said just play a little bit safer. You know, the rest of the team, they are going to be in a whole bunch of control as this game goes on, especially with a composition like this. Yep. And they have just been keeping themselves calm.
Lucid evolves his Q here, has his level 6, is going to be clearing even faster now, so now he's confident that he can just leap onto this blue buff, take it away. He uses his smite to secure it, and might actually commit on the Vincenzo here. Remember, he does have 6. Dihyuk is in the area, but I mean, so is Thanatos. We might actually have our first fight. Oh, I just tried to will it into existence. I wanted it to happen.
It was almost there. We almost saw people hitting each other with abilities. Instead, we might see a second turret plate going down here on this bottom side. That's excitement right there as Diablo dashing forward. Doesn't have a lot of mana here available, so probably isn't going to be able to finish them off. Level 5, looking for that power spike there, and does get a bit of his mana back, so should be all right.
Okay, any action? No.
Any cullings?
Might try to find the angle.
Almost.
Baited the shield.
Uh-huh.
Shield's on cooldown. Go for it. Diablo, get in there.
There we go. Press that R button. You got this. All right, they're just going to go aggressive themselves as Rahel. Oh, the bubble is going to connect, and that is first blood. Going to Diablo in the 2v2. No culling required.
It almost felt like they accidentally killed Bible. Like the bubble connects, so they're like, oh, I guess we get him. I don't know.
We'll kill that one, I guess. Nice little knock up there as Thanatos getting taken down extraordinarily low. The cask is amazing for getting rid of Tibbers, but Tibbers is still going to die, and this is a disaster for D+ Kia.
Yeah, everything's going wrong all of a sudden here, and Rift Herald, see if they can actually hold on to this one, but still winning the fight there, taking Thanatos out of the picture, getting the kill there onto Bible on the bottom side of the map. So staving off some of that pressure there, and Stormrazor is now complete for Diablo, so he's going to do the same build that we saw from Rahel.
Yep, looks like Stormrazor is just a thing if these bottom laners. Yeah. Medic, hands off. Thanatos is ours. He also, if you saw last game, just Nabar, mismanagement, all these sorts of things you saw in this game, just hard entered in the river.
Yeah,
so not a great player, so don't worry about it. You're fine. You'll be fine.
Yeah, Bible here is very low, and he's standing on a ward. Heals forward here, and Plan B just casually accidentally kills him.
Yeah, and also, like, Bible was out of the bubble, and then he's like, oh no, wait a second, I got this.
It's like, I guess he died. Oops, thank you for the money. As Thanatos only hits one of these knockups, and there's a ton of damage here. This was bizarre flash usage as well, hoping to get over the wall there and escape, but wrong side of the turret anyways, so...
Yeah, definitely a fair few hmms going on.
He's just trying to continue our storyline about how he's not going to be leaving this region anytime soon.
9 games the dream.
Yeah,
so Live Sandbox, they're going to need to win this one, and then it doesn't matter about the next one. Bible going to avoid that bubble. got the memo, and that is going to be the Chemtech Soul taken out. So Cloud Drake makes me a bit sad, no Cloud Soul, but at least there is a Cloud Dragon represented on the Summoner's Rift.
We're ramping up to it. Next game is the Soul.
Yeah, there we go. Game 3 of this series.
Yep, exactly. Exactly.
Gorgeous.
That's where we're headed. I still haven't had my 9 game, the Dream. I had a few 8s, but never the 9, so...
Yeah.
8 is the worst, man, where you're like, oh...
Yeah, I know, because
so
then
close to 9,
not
but
the
I'm
cool
still here
thing.
for a while, and,
yeah.
you know, that one series went to Game 3 when it wasn't supposed to. Thank you, KT Rollster, you know. But, yeah, the 9, you know, you don't get credit unless it's full 9. Nobody gives you credit for 8.
Nope.
9.
And it is still a very long day. And in fact, you know, 3 best of 3s, even if they're all 2-0s, still a long day. But we're just happy to spend it with you guys, to be perfectly honest, especially right now.
Yeah, and we're doomed if we're already starting to worry about that on day 1.
Yeah, no, exactly, especially when it's game number 2. However, we'll try and keep track of it. We'll make sure that the 9-game dream stays alive for as long as possible. As Vincenzo going to face check. Lucid not able to get over that wall, but he does go invisible, so he's going to be all right. Full Bay just going to throw down a bear, and that is going to stop Goody from being able to get any follow-up damage, although he does still onto Lucid. Thanatos moving his way down, does have his control ward in the brush, spots the fact that he has been seen, and there is the Rift Herald thrown in. See whether we can get some plates here at this stage of the game.
Yep, it's going to be
charge connected.
And Daihyuk over here, gonna grab a plate, it looks like, just barely here before Thanatos gets back. So a lot of money picked up here. Still very even in terms of gold. It's just the scaling issue here that I have for Live Sandbox that they're gonna have to somehow get a bigger lead with. I mean, it's a very tiny lead at the moment. Rahel could be vulnerable here.
Potentially. Bible off to the side, just gets a little bit poked by Diablo.
Thought maybe they were going to commit the tidal wave. Pulbe is in trouble. No prep stun.
Nope. And the Cocoon, he walks back into it. And Vincenzo's just going to eat him up. No worries.
That's the kind of play, you know, finding some pressure bottom side there with your ultimates available, pushing the Aphelios back, making them wonder where is the jungler, then making the gank happen mid. Pulbe doesn't have his stun, doesn't flash. Just goes down here. Unfortunately, Cocoon connecting. Even if he flashes that there, he's going to be pushed away. He's going to lose a lot of minions, so watch it again. There's one bar here, just greeting for the minions. As soon as he sees Vincenzo, if he flashes this, actually, I think he probably gets away.
Oh, yeah.
But it's tough, man. He's being
also,
greedy.
like, yeah, flashing on Annie just feels extra bad, right? Because you need it so much in upcoming fights. So just tries to hold on to it. A little bit greedy, you could say, because you definitely don't want to die, but still. I don't think it's the end of the world. Although this Jace is going to be far more accelerated than the one that we saw last game. And in that game, he also did a whole bunch of work.
Someone in chat saying that maybe his flash was actually like on like 3 seconds away from cooldown or something.
Could have been. Because he did flash in the river fight.
Yeah.
But seeing now that it is back off cooldown, did confuse.
Yeah, he's got lucidity boots, chat. He'll be okay.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. I think that puts it to a 30-second cooldown, I think, on the flash.
Yeah, maybe like 29.8.
Yeah. All right, 10 seconds off.
We'll
we'll have to trust Chronicler on this one, I think. He chronicled it. He wrote it down. Yeah. He must have. That's what he does.
Does keep chronicles.
Of Riddick, I think. Do you think that's Chronicler's favorite movie?
Yeah, I think 100%, no doubt.
That's a very dead
That's
spider.
what we like to call sprinting.
Yeah.
You know, sprinting can refer to running very quickly, or what Vincenzo just did.
So, like, there are multiple ways of dealing with a spider. Is Lucid going to dive forward immediately? Goody is going to flash out of the way. There are multiple ways of dealing with a spider, okay? And as an Australian, we know about a lot of them. And, you know, there's one where you see the spider on the wall and you're like, oh, I need to put it into a cup. Yeah, so you put the cup over it and then you put the paper underneath. You take it outside nicely. Then there's other people that just like they see a spider. Yeah, no. Or they're just walking past and they just slap the spider and it's dead, you know? Like, that's what just happened. It's the person that just straight up doesn't care. They're like, oh, you're really poisonous? I don't mind. I'm just gonna smack you in the face and you're dead because you're a spider and you're small.
No time to bite.
That's exactly what's happening.
Okay, so he doesn't have vision here. He control wards, thinks he's safe. Okay.
Oh, he was looking for 4 day,
yeah. Unfortunate. I mean, it looks much better actually on second viewing because he also control warded and checked the other brush, and then he was like, okay, it's just Pulbe. Nah. He did his due diligence, but we won't call it a sprint.
No, not quite a sprint. However, it did look somewhat, the outcome was negative of the play,
Yeah.
I would say. It was not exactly it.
One bug to another, you know?
yeah.
All right, well, that's going to be the first Drake here for D+, and it's Hextech, the Soul.
Ooh, that's an exciting one.
That's very exciting.
Also, have we gotten, like, it's only Chemtech that we've seen twice out of all the dragons, so that's cool. Getting a whole lot of representation. Would have been nice if we got an Infernal, but that's okay. So I think we got a Lone Ocean Drake last game as well. As Rahel going to take a culling, but he's got about 16 different shields, one of them being his barrier, so I guess there is a summoner spell that was picked up. Dash Cannon forward, thereby pull bait.
Too bad it doesn't have a Mortal Shield Bow.
Yeah, true.
Or, sorry, Bloodthirster, that's not a thing anymore.
I mean, it is sort of a thing, just doesn't do the same things as the
Yeah.
thing that it used to do. I think it's a kind of cool vibe, you know, like get more damage if you're at high health with all that lifesteal. Kind of into it.
Yeah, it's just a little, like, screen protector for your health bar.
Yeah, yeah. And you should have a screen protector. I don't currently.
Same.
I need to certainly sort that one out. I bought one and then it was the wrong size, you know, and then I'm just like, I'm not motivated to buy one again.
Yeah. The worst thing about screen protectors for me is I can never put them on correctly. Like, I always get a piece of dust under there, and I get really mad, and then I try like the second time, and then it's getting all stuck.
And then you look at the YouTube videos, and they're like even more complicated than what you thought they were going to be. And it's like, you've got to line it up. You got to like use this thing that came in the packet, and it's like at the bottom, and like it's hiding in the instruction manual as there is a knock-up. Goody. Taking a little bit of damage. She gets breathed on as that is Vincenzo coming in. Very nice cocoon. That is going to cause Thanatos to back away. Goody to survive.
Yep. No mana really for Thanatos, so decides, okay, just back away from this one. Doesn't commit a slash, luckily, to try to get that kill. Would not have worked out. As Dayuk, see if he can survive this one. Lucid's got a lot of damage here.
Yeah.
Stun already used. He's just going to back.
Yeah, Lucid's got stuff to buy. Had a hot date with Boris, I'm pretty sure. Didn't really mind too much about the big old tanky Gragas. He does have the best item in the game now. Sunfire Cape now put together. Shout out to Dan Harrison. I wonder on this patch whether he's as much of a huge fan, because there have been a lot of item changes. So maybe Dan has like a new thing that he gets frustrated about. But I'm just going to assume that it's still Sunfire Cape.
Yeah, I mean, until we hear otherwise, what else can we do?
Yeah, that's a very good point.
I think that's a safe assumption at this point, as we are going to have a Drake fight in 2.5 minutes, but until then it's just going to kind of be a little bit of almost ganking inside and not doing it.
Yeah.
Thanatos hanging around. He doesn't have his ult, so I'm not too worried.
Bear!
Okay.
That's what you should do. You just put a bear on top of the spider. That's what deals with the spiders.
Oh, Timbers just didn't feel like it, man. He just didn't feel like it.
He just wasn't moving fast enough, you know. That Molten Shield cooldown needs to be adjusted or something. I don't know. Shirley going to bump her head into the turret, and that is going to take that one down. And Wolf, like, this is just D+ doing the same thing as the last game. It's like, we're going to just, like, casually int a little bit in the early game. Doesn't matter, because we're going to get more money mid-game. And then they win.
Yeah. But I want to see a little more action, you know? I feel like we're getting a little too LCK here in LCK Challengers.
Yeah.
Like 4 kills in 20 minutes. We're on pace for that.
And apparently, according to Kevin Kim, there was a rumor the D+ Gears Challenger team has been scrimming against LCK teams. And they may have caught the bug.
This
do nothing until one team fight bug.
It is kind of the meta, you know, with the Aphelios scaling and all that, with the good old Ornn coming in. Trying to do things sometimes, but not always. Just wait for that spider to walk straight into the bush. I mean, he's got an Edge of Night ready. He's big.
Yeah, Lucid is just lurking, man. But he's just going to jump over that wall.
It's funny how Lucid in this game, like, he's so big, but not because he's been popping off and getting kills like Kha'Zix often does. He's just out farming. Just running around, ghost blading.
He's just annoying everyone.
Yeah, he's a cockroach variant of the Kha'Zix in this case.
Certainly is. That dude from Men in Black, you know?
Yeah. That's a real throwback.
Yeah, because that's like Men in Black 1, isn't it?
Yeah,
the cockroach guy?
Yeah.
He's like sugar and wool. As Diablo's going to throw out a... Okay, that is a great grab at him. Still, Diablo's going to be able to get himself out of there. Has to use the cleanse in order to get rid of the CC. And also Gale Force now on cooldown as well. Rahel's still with his flash available.
I mean, Rahel's going to be fine here. Right before this Drake fight, I was a little bit worried he loses most of his health, but he's already healed up a large portion of that. And now he can come over here and take this on spawn. Looks like Liv Sandbox are just going to not fight. I was hoping, like, okay, we're going to see a fight maybe. 2-item Lucian. It's got to be the time, right? You're about to fully, like, Goody is so close to full stack, so it's Muramana. But nah, just trade. Just trade.
Yeah.
Trade for a tower, top side, you know, just avoid fighting. Very pacifist.
And look, you might be looking at D+ and saying, oh, speed up the game. It's not on them. Liv Sandbox, they're the ones that need to be creating some speed here. They do manage to trade. Like, the cross map is, like, kind of good. This is obviously a thing that these players have been doing, like, practicing and stuff like that, is in this stage, if you don't think that you can fight, then you should trade cross map. But the problem is, the story doesn't get better for Liv Sandbox.
Yeah,
They're
really
going to take some risks.
Because, I mean, you have a bunch of burst damage in this Jace who probably could have got those last 2 hits for his tier to finish the Muramana. Very likely to actually have that for the fight. So he's got 2 items, Lucian's got 2 items. This is the fight you take, where you know, force that pick, you know, deal with Annie, and then get your way into that fight. You know, Thanatos wasn't in a great position either. They decided to take the turret down, but I agree with you. I think it gets much worse from here. And at least it's not soul point for D+, because then you're like, okay, I have only 1 more chance, but you have 2 more chances, and that's also not good news. I'm like, that's 10 more minutes of game time, which is bad news. He just won't be caught by anything.
He's got the Edge of Night, so he's fine. I didn't even think the shield was broken.
It didn't proc, yeah, it didn't proc.
Oh, God. All right, Lucid just cruising around. We've got the upgraded Jack shows here as well. This is what we were talking about. That is just more money being pumped into D+ gear. The gold lead has been a flat line, much like the amount of action this game. But that's fine for D+. They have a lot of map control. They are getting towards that soul as well, with a couple of Drakes and 3 Hex Techs, and that's a win condition in unto itself. No Barons required.
Gale Force is upgraded.
Ooh, Typhoon?
Typhoon.
That's like one of the only upgrade names that I actually use.
What's Jack Show's upgrade?
Wait, what's an upgrade of shoes?
Boots? I don't know.
Greaves?
Greaves,
Jack
yeah.
Greaves?
Yeah, I like that. That's a good one.
Yeah, not Jack Shoes. It's Jack Greaves.
Side Jack
It sounds like some dude's name. Parasite? Unending Parasite?
That sounds right.
That's actually really cool.
Because it was a Protean.
Unspoken?
Unspoken.
Unspoken.
Oh, so I guess we can't say that. So we'll just call it the Jack Greaves.
I like Jack Greaves because that actually like sounds like an actor's name. You know,
it's Jacob like Jordans.
Jacob Jordans. All about it. Echoes of Hellier is very metal. Actually, I like that. It's okay. Lucid, once again, doing his Lucid things, where he's just trying to isolate people. And he's going to be able to do that. Goes invisible. Goody is in a whole host of trouble, but he has friends. Bullbay's going to turn up as well, though, and drops a bear on top of Vincenzo. He has to come down, and the Ram not going to be able to pick him up, but they do grab some seafood on their way out.
Looks like it's going to be a 24-minute Baron here. Vincenzo is extremely low. Dahlia still has his ultimate here, so they can come over and contest, but I mean, these health bars are just way too high. I'm not hopeful.
1 kill on a support into almost guaranteed Baron is what's happening here.
I'm not hopeful.
Well, let's see what Diablo can get done here as in goes Diehook. Not sure about that one, and immediately Vincenzo's going to go down. That is a wild growth onto Thanatos. He's so tanky. That's a double kill for Lucid, and this game is,
it's done.
In the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
Feeling pretty over.
And I get it because you have to make a stand here, but why not make a stand on the previous Drake fight where you had your 2-item spikes? Why not make the stand there? This is the one where it's like 100% we lose this unless everything goes right, and then bless Dahyuk's heart, but like that was not it.
It was not the Bomba we were looking for.
It was not the Bomba we were looking for here. As Lucid with Edge of Night is totally fine. Guti barely escapes here, and then
if he was isolated, he was dead. But there was a fish.
I mean, good sidestep from Vincenzo because he almost dies here too. But let's just all have a moment of silence for Dahyuk's play here, where he tries to get Rahel. Like, the idea is good. Like, maybe we can collapse, but like, look at how close, or rather not close, anybody is to Rahel anyways.
Oh, but he got he managed to move the turret out of the way.
True.
Bomber turret. Bye, little turret. Not crescendoing anymore.
I mean, it was a cool idea, but
Yeah,
you're Jack Shugragus, you're not going to kill him anyways.
Hey, Kami Yeats in the chat, like, completely understanding. Got the turret, it's worth.
Yeah, W Bomba.
Yeah, you typed that one in. Well, the Sandbox now having to deal with these Baroned up minions. Look at the damage that good old tank mage assassin On did there on that top side.
Sunfire value.
Yeah, exactly. Sunfire is definitely a damage item. Very similar to in TFT. Not a tank item, just does damage. It's just good. As now Diablo just clearing up minion waves, and they're going to have to deal with the Blacksmith making his way down this top lane.
Yeah, this is dead turret.
Should be, yeah.
Let's see if there's a play here with this teleport. Dahyuk has his cast.
All right.
He's ready.
All right. Are the turrets going to be in trouble this time? The answer is no. Manages to find her help, but the dodge is so good on the Gale Force. The double kill onto the bottom lane there by Poolbay. Goes golden as well to keep himself alive. Then moves Tibbers in front of the turret to try and tank that one up just in case he needed to.
That was just a tragedy. It was just,
yeah.
I mean, it was a good idea. It was just really sad how it all went down. The tidal wave is only hits Thanatos, and he just completely buffers it with his unstoppable. He just doesn't care. And, I mean, look, it didn't end up happening the way I thought it would, but ultimately, as predicted, a 2-0 easy, clean game here from D+, one-sided.
Oh, and Lucid didn't even need his stopwatch?
Nope.
Oh, man. Then just wanders to have a chat to the enemy team's Boris. Really well played there by D+.
I don't know who I'm going to vote for.
I think I'm still Lucid. I think I am.
He did run people around the map a lot.
He did lots of things. It might be, it's a Poolbay angle or a Lucid angle for me, I think.
I think I'm going to go Lucid. It's a safe vote. And our votes aren't public except for the chat. They just trust us no matter what.
True.
No fan of the Korean stream's going to be like, what did Wolf do?
I mean, our votes aren't public apart from the fact that we talk about our votes in public every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that, but otherwise, not public.
Yeah, don't tell the other people besides the cool, exclusive private club we have here.
Exactly. First attack, 400 gold earned from Lucid. What? First strike gold, 400.
Yeah.
That is not that great. I thought you meant first attack. So like in the last fight, his first attack earned him that much gold. That would have been silly. But 400 gold, yeah, it's not the most, but it's fine.
I thought that Poolbay had a pretty good game. He played very well. He was very respectful. I thought the adjustments that D+ made in the laning phase were very good. Poolbay
especially
playing
bottom
very
lane,
safe. Right? Yeah, Rahel really pushing the envelope on how much value you could get in the lane, but not overextending. Pretty straightforward game.
Maybe it should have been a Thanatos vote because he just did so much. Look at that damage.
I thought about voting. For me, it was like Poolbay, Thanatos, or Lucid, but I went with Lucid just because the amount of pressure he put on the jungle and how much farm he took away from Vincenzo was unreal. Like, Vincenzo didn't even have farm to get, ever.
I think Lucid won the game for D+ gear, but I think that Thanatos definitely had a very good one. But yeah, I think it might just be on things as well. And if a game is like that slow, just being on and existing feels pretty good. You know, like that's setting you up for the good times.
And yep. Our first potential 9-game day already thwarted.
Yeah, dead. So 8 games, the dream is now upon us. We do have KT and Kwangdong Freaks waiting in the wings. And look, that is a series that has gone 3 games in the past.
It has.
But so was this one, Wolf. This was 3 games every time.
Yeah, which I completely forgot about. But Guti made it happen last time. Not this time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, it's just D+, they look solid.
Hopefully
they can cross the finish line if they continue to have a good round 1, because it's always strong starts, mediocre finishes, and then a bit of a trip up in the playoffs generally for this team.
But, okay, so I've got the hopium. If you're a D+ Kia fan and you want to see them continue to succeed here in Challenger, Lucid's going to pick up another POG. Both Wolf and I off to a flying start here for our POG votes. I know they're not public, but I just like to admit that we did
I just
vote.
meant outside of our stream, they don't show it on the stream. They don't
that's
show
true.
it on the stream.
We're not going to get laughed at in Korean, you know,
Yeah.
on DC Inside or something like that. We'll be fine. I like that Chronicle is like the entire top side of DK being a reasonable vote for BOG. Some things never change, although it changed literally between Game 1 and Game 2, because you are definitely not voting for Pool Bay in that particular game. But that is totally fine. And look, that is what this team's been about, and they are continuing to look fantastic. But my hopium was, Pool Bay totally entered Game 1, but he played really well throughout the entire first half of the spring season until he fell off a cliff and started playing like a bonobo, you know?
True. Look, I think Lucid, he's got a great season ahead of him potentially. We're not going to hear from him because we have to charge Faker, so that's what's going on behind us.
That's what we're doing now. So we're sending all of our energy. It's
let
mainly
me just spend some extra.
Yeah, collecting some more energy.
No, I'm putting more in from
God.
my hand.
Whoa.
Because it was a 2-0. I'm taking my Game 3 energy just in case I don't need it anymore.
I think I can probably spare a little bit.
All right, just one more from me. One more set all the way to the big line. Hold on.
Yep.
All right.
There it goes. Okay. Because I think that a lot of it is actually going to the camel farm. Because Faker does like to spend time with Chovy in New Zealand. So I
still
think
technically off season.
Yeah, so some of the energy will be forwarded towards the camels to make sure that they are, you know, coming up fine. Casters, can you make your hands disappear? One of them is currently not even here. Do I even have two hands? Not entirely sure. If I made both of my hands disappear, how would I then be able to speak into the microphone? I guess I can do it like this, but now I have to be down here this whole time.
I got a second hand still.
Oh, there we go. Oh, hang on. But I could also just like hold it like this, right? And it can just be like a disembodied. It's like a disembodied microphone.
There's actually a third person under the desk that helps hold it for us.
No, we've actually we've upgraded. We've now got mic stands. We've got mic stands for the microphones, as you can see.
Or our technician Mike, who Mike squats under the table to hold the mic. He's our mic stand.
Are you wearing shorts or pants?
It's a secret.
We'll never
It's
reveal.
a secret.
I guarantee though that tomorrow Valdez will be wearing shorts. That is my promise. That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah, I'd say
he's a shorts desk wearer.
Pretty good chance.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm gonna put my hand back up again because it's like
starting to get a little weird.
Just doesn't quite work. I realize as well that I keep like throwing my mic around and then still talking as if people can hear me the same. It's not how that works.
It's weird.
Yeah, like hey guys, like that's not gonna work.
That's like what a lot of pro gamers do during their interviews, and so like the host has to be like,
yeah, like I don't need to.
Or the player just takes the mic away, and they're like, I don't think so.
That used to happen in StarCraft interviews all the time.
Well, it's because in StarCraft in Korea, each player has their own mic. We don't do it. The player has their own mic, and we don't do the like thing. So when they go to overseas, they're like, oh, okay, like now it's my turn to talk.
Yeah, give me the mic.
So takes some players some time to get adjusted to that.
Yep, certainly does kind of work.
Guangdong Freaks time? Yeah, it is.
It is indeed.
Well, I mean, after this interview ends and then like a short break
and also we get to see Mainstay Way for KT. No longer is Rebel on the roster. Just a little bit unfortunate for Rebel fans, but yeah, it's going to be Way all the way.
Very good for me because I don't have to cast with Valdez calling him Reble anymore.
Reble?
Yeah. It's done. It's over.
Man, I'm a bit sad. Reble.
He'll probably reference it the first time we cast KT together, but that'll be the end of it.
Video game vibes just said no way. And I'm just like, what is a video game vibe? What does it feel like?
I don't know. I like to think it's when I go to like the like N64 PS1 music video, like the channel that has like 4 hours of N64 music, and it's only the good tracks. You know? And, in my solo queue, I'm queuing.
I like it.
Vibing. That's a video game vibe for me.
That sounds like a video game vibe. If video game vibes could let us know what a vibe of video game is like, or whether we could confirm or deny whether Wolf was right, because I think that's about it. That is about it.
Yeah, N64 PS1
drum and bass.
Yeah, I've listened to that channel.
That's a real good one.
The JRPG channel, also very good.
That's my favorite because that's like got all of the Xenoblade music and stuff like that. It's actually just super dope.
There's also like a Square Enix one only, which is very good.
Yep. Yeah. That one works out. I generally just listen to the Gypsy Kings when I'm playing League of Legends. It is a cheat code. You can never get tilted if you're listening to the Gypsy Kings. It's just how it goes.
I'll have to give it a try. I've been listening to weird like the Eurythmics and like old like Castles in the Sky, like Ian Van Dahl and stuff. Like
I'm kind of down.
I've been doing that a little bit of Eiffel 65. Yeah.
Whoa.
I'm going into the Euro beats from
I'm
the
the one that's blue.
Yeah. I got like
man.
a little bit. Two kinds.
I guess we kind of look like we're in an Eiffel 65 video clip as well, right?
Yeah.
Like this whole vibe. Like you remember that? Like, oh my god, the blue like film clip was just so silly because it was so old and like CGI wasn't great.
It looks like it was made for a PS1.
Yeah, it looked like.
I wouldn't be surprised if they actually made it on a PS1.
It's like a 3D cutscene in a 2D game. You know, that's what it looks like.
It's like the StarCraft opening.
Yeah, right. I was thinking Diablo 2.
Yeah, Diablo 2.
Yeah. It's like just not that great, and also doesn't really represent what the game is about.
Resident Evil 2 cutscenes. You know?
All about it. Oh, I like listening to Xenoblade soundtracks or official rap music. Pens Pros, I respect that because like there are so many of like the like champion themes and stuff like that I'm like super into.
Void Grandma's back.
Hey, sup, Void Grandma? How you doing?
Chat, who won? Who do you think, Trippy?
Yeah.
The
who
viewers.
do you think won? We
viewers.
did. YouTube chat won. YouTube chat
Everybody
won.
except you because you weren't here, but welcome anyways.
Final Fantasy 14 music. Have you played Final Fantasy 14 yet?
A little bit. I'm on 13 right now.
Okay. Wolf is doing the full run-through of all Final Fantasy games. You're already up to 13. Damn.
Yeah. Yep, I'm on 13 now. I haven't started it yet, but because Zelda came out.
Yep.
I just finished 12. Oh, it was good.
God, I love Zodiac
12
Age.
was good, man. I'm not like I finished it and I was probably like 90 hours in, but I'm like not done with it yet. You know what I mean? There's still a lot more to do.
You got to get that cool bow from the boat and stuff like that, and get to like the very last floor of the like to the time trial thing.
I got almost all of the summons. Like I'm missing one or two. But I unlocked all the rest of them. Like all my boards are done.
Yeah. Yep. You can use all of the cool items.
Yeah.
A little bit of an itchy mustache. Very strange. This is a really long interview. Are they always this long? I feel like this is an extra long one.
I feel like they're not usually this long. But it's been a while, so we're getting back into the swing of things. Like, how was your off season?
Well, on that note, I think we're just going to leave it at that. But we'll be back very, very soon for some more Challenger content with KT and Kwandong Freaks. We'll see you there.